Hello, my friend. Happy stretchy pants Thanksgiving Eve, and welcome to WDW Radio Live. I am Lou Mongello. It is so good. I mean, I can't see you because that would be weird, but thank you very much for being here. If you are watching live and spending your Thanksgiving Eve with us, as maybe you are preparing your turkey or making your stuffing, or probably in my case, I would be eating all the things that would be prepared for tomorrow, but it doesn't really matter. I appreciate you being here. Please do me a favor, grab a snack, something to drink, tag and invite a friend. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join us here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern at WDW Radio Live. And please help spread the word, because today is not just all about food. It's all about friendship. In past years, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving has sort of unofficially become Friendsgiving. When I was a kid, like, Friendsgiving wasn't a thing. Like, we just sort of had, my parents always had sort of like an open door at our house for holidays. I was always like, I remember when I was really young, like, I was like, why are all these like strangers I've never seen? Like, we always had friends over for dinner and for holidays, but sometimes people that just, my parents would say, look, if you didn't have somewhere to go, you always had somewhere to go when I was at our house. And that's how I feel tonight. While I can't have you all in my home, again, it would be slightly weird. Plus, my daughter has her friends over downstairs. This is as close as we can get to celebrating a holiday that I've said in the past. Like, I have this weird relationship with Thanksgiving because I love everything it represents, but I sometimes dislike the fact that we need to be reminded on a single day to be grateful, not for what we have, but for who we have in our lives. And for me, that is not just my family, but you are my extended family. And whether we have met yet or not, we are friends and we are extended family. And my heart is full of gratitude every single day for you. So with that out of the way, I'm sure you are planning for your holiday feasts and festivities and all of the fun and foods that come along with that. But tonight, I thought we would talk about not one, not two, three different things. I want to give you a quick update on Disney Jollywood Nights. I went back for a second time, possibly not my last, on Monday for our WDW Radio night at Jollywood Nights. We'll talk about that a little bit. I want to hear your thoughts from this week's past show about some of the surprising movies, not sort of the obvious and direct ones that have impacted the Disney theme park experience. Would love to hear your feedback about what was on our list, and I'd love to hear from you what is on your list, maybe some of the non-obvious ones that we missed that we probably should have put on. And then we'll just wrap up with a couple of Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving Eve, just fun questions for discussion, and then I will let you get back to your friends and your family and your preparations. Angela Batista says, wait a minute. Hello tonight from Grand Cayman. From last time I checked, and I don't have an updated atlas with me, I do not believe that Grand Cayman is in Rhode Island. I do not believe. Good for you. Like, kudos to you. And I love that, right? Because Thanksgiving, too, is not necessarily where you spend it, but who you get to spend it with. And I've seen this trend happening a lot more where people are going away for the holidays, and you might not sort of be cooking in your home, but as long as you're with the people that you love and that, can tolerate you in return, that is what it is all about. So Chris is watching from Michigan. Becky is probably watching from a concierge lounge somewhere. Amy Keys, good to see you. Andrew Milan, thank you. All of you for being here. So, all right, let's get right into the show. I'm going to try and watch the comments as much as I can. If there's something that I miss, or if you have comments, I'd love to hear it. Kate says, I think we're going to Jollywood next week. Do you think we should see Duffy? He is a must-do now that he is at... Oh, when do you think we should see Duffy? So, Kate, so this is exactly what I was talking about when I had our initial discussion about Jollywood Nights, and I won't sort of rehash everything, but it is not Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It is something that is very different, and I think part of the misunderstanding or disconnect from people, and again, I'm going to talk about why, again, I don't like, nor should you judge something based on an opening night, first time ever, Jollywood Nights is what you want it to be. And having been back a second time, I really sort of saw that from the people that I talked to and just sort of watching the crowds. So for some, it is sort of like I keep using the same euphemism that Jollywood Nights for me is an opportunity to just sip and stroll and savor the evening at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which is, I love that park at night. I really love it. Like, they turn it up to 12 during the holidays. I love that vintage retro feel and music. So for me, it is enjoying the park, enjoying the ambiance and the music and the live music and performances. It's less about having no wait times at attractions, while for other people, that's a huge attractor. The fact that they added on characters like Duffy is one of those improvements I'm going to talk about. When you do it is based on how you want to approach the night, right? So if you're like, hey, we need to make sure we see this show at this time and this show at that time, then use that buffer time in between for things like meeting characters or getting food. So you sort of build your day, just like if you go into Magic Kingdom any day, you sort of build your attractions around your dining reservations. At least that's how I do it. So I will tell you, the lines or lack thereof on Monday night were markedly different. And I'll share a couple of other photos I didn't get a chance to share on social in my video. Like, I have photos and there are areas of vastness where there's hardly any people at all. So so Paul Hoffman, who I saw there, thank you, Paul, for coming to our WDW. Like, I love sort of getting that WDW Radio kind of family photo. I think we're going to do this every year. We're going to take a family Christmas photo every year. The live music was fantastic, small crowds, different characters, so shorter lines, especially later in the evening. Absolutely. As the evening wore on and as shows were going on, that was a great time to meet characters. Amy says, I think I decided on this trip that Hollywood Studios is my favorite park holiday decorations. I think I agree. Like, I think I really found myself, especially this time, because I wasn't trying to capture content, like walking very slowly, just sort of looking around. And I've been to the park store in the holiday season a gazillion times, but sort of picking up on things I had never noticed before. I want to talk about some of the things that I noticed that they improved upon on Jollywood Nights, right? So on show 756, and again, I'm sort of contradicting myself. When I say I give a very honest review, I always give a very honest review. But in addition to the review, I was very transparent in terms of things I thought that they could improve. Kudos to Disney, because from day one to day two, and again, Monday was the third day, they had started to make some of those improvements and many more. So starting at the beginning, the entry procedure itself was much more organized. It was much easier. It was clearer. It was shorter. The whole entire entry procedure, both inside the park and outside the park, was very different. So I was outside the park watching the lines form, and there was one line for people that needed to check in that did not have a physical ticket. And then there was a second line for people that had a ticket, had the reservation, just to get the wristbands and the credentials and then go in. Having seen that, I said I wanted to see what it was like inside the park, because it was chaotic, to say the least, on the very first night. We checked in over by Muppet Vision. There was nobody in line in front of us. Like, there was literally one person getting the wristband. We walked up, got our wristband, got our credentials with no wait at all. So the cast members were better prepared. The executives and organizers, in terms of setting it up and making some changes in terms of signage and how and where to do this, was much, much, much better. Again, no wait inside the park versus the hour-long wait that there was on Monday. The other thing too, and this was one of the things I had spoken about, was there were the park is divided up into zones, right? There's entertainment zones. There's over by the Tip Top Club, which, again, Rachel and the Alley Cats are like my favorite. I could have sat there all night long to a certain degree. I kind of did. There was also sort of the 80s zone by Echo Lake. There was the Latin music zone over by Commissary Lane. But there were also sort of dead areas. And in front of the Chinese theater was One that I felt was this very sort of vacuous space. They put a DJ there, they put entertainment, they put lights there. It changed the energy of the whole evening. And in addition to the DJ there was another DJ over by Municipburg. There was a DJ in Animation Courtyard. So there was music, there was an elevated energy, and the crowds, or lack thereof, were incredibly different. The takeaway lesson: if you don't have to go on opening night, and again, you're not going to have an opening night again like this, where there were so many people, myself included, because it was a media night. I was invited, grateful. So many people trying to capture content, be the first, right? I'm not trying to be the first, but I try and be thorough in my reviews of things, which is why we did a very long review of the night. But there's a lot of people who are going to every single food stall to get every single item on the menu, because that's just, sometimes what you need to do in order to review it. So the crowds were way lower. Like, if you can go during the week, it is not a pro tip. It's an obvious tip, but it made a massive, massive difference. They also added, and this was a simple, and I said it on the show, and it executed so well, by adding some characters, including some rare characters. There's not only an additional value, but it helps to spread the park out. So you had Pinocchio in his holiday best, Mary Poppins and a penguin, Santa Stitch, Snow White and Dopey, and Santa Duffy through different sections of the park. So around the Chinese Theater, by the stage there was Jiminy Cricket, and there was Santa Stitch. Snow White and Dopey were over by Baseline Tap House. So they were spread throughout the park, which was really, really nice. And obviously we were just talking about too, Duffy was there as well. They're huge guest satisfiers, right? They're guest satisfiers, and they help spread the crowd out, and it's quote unquote something else to do. And this was I swear, as much as I talk, I listen and I watch, and I spent a lot of time on Saturday night and Sunday and Monday watching and listening to the comments and the reviews, some of which I think were a little unfairly harsh. I'm going to use the sort of, you never judge a restaurant on opening night, especially when it opens on a Saturday. But by adding things like the additional characters, by adding things like the Tip Top Club and the soiree there had a ridiculously long, they were not prepared for how long that line was going to be for the bar in the back. By simply doubling or tripling the number of cast members, having a second checkout register there was no line for the bar all night. I sat there through 2 sets of the band there. It's Rachel and the Alley Cats, but I sat through 2 sets because I wanted to see the dynamic. I wanted to see the band, but I watched the bar and I watched sort of the dance floor. The crowds were minimal at best. There was great flow. So they made the easy changes that they needed to make, and it worked. And I actually just happened to see the person who is the creative director, right? This is his show. It's his baby. I know it's a team effort. I talked to him. It's a continuing iterative process, like all of these parties are. It is going to continue to improve this season, right? There's only 7 more shows. If and when, and I hope it does come back next year, there's already plans on ways to expand and improve it, just like things like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and other Christmas parties and other events that continue to improve year after year. But this was a massive night and day difference from day 1. I didn't see day 2 other than friends who had attended, and day 3. So it's why you cannot judge. One, you need to judge for yourself, right? Even when it comes to my reviews and the things I talk about, it's meant to sort of bring you value and help you guide. But people, who were so critical and literally, I think, ruined the experience for others. Because I had a lot of people I saw online, I demanded a refund for my ticket. I demanded a gift card because after reading the reviews, I'm not going to go. And I'm like, well, you didn't judge for yourself. You went in to some and listened to somebody who maybe had a bad experience. Maybe, let's be honest, that's their thing, right? Not everybody's a choose the good kind of guy or kind of gal. And you are now not going to sort of have that experience for yourself. Darren says, do you think if it comes back next year, that your day one will be more highly, will still... So yes, I think day one for any event, Darren, whether it's a Christmas party, it's a festival, it's, whatever, it's always going to be the most highly attended, because there's a lot of people who, whether it's for themselves or because they are looking to capture and create and share content, it's their thing. For a lot of people, being first and getting that thing out first is important to them and their audience, and I get that. I don't love first nights. I think it's hard on the cast because I think you need time to test and adjust. I think it's hard for guests because it usually is overly crowded. So if you have the ability to not go on a first night and go during a week, I think you're going to have a much better experience. And I think next year, as they learn lessons and continue to modify and improve, and I think expand what this party is, I think there's some opportunities we talked about on the show to expand this. I think it will. So Caleb says, yeah, I heard some people that went and said it was a disaster. I can't believe it. I saw a live stream and I thought it was amazing. That's why you need to judge for yourself. And look, everybody sort of creates content and shares and consumes content differently. I felt that we needed to have a very in-depth discussion about the event, because I think you or a creator trying to put together a 60-second, 5-minute, 7-minute video that is meant to convey this is what Jollywood Nights is doing a bit of a disservice, because you can't necessarily capture and explain and discuss and get other opinions and sort of talk out what the event is. Different strokes for different folks. I get it. I created some short form stuff too, but that really is sort of meant to be a little bit of a tease and to sort of visualize some of the things we talk about on the show. Amy, I agree. I think they're going to learn, and it will continue to be more organized. Kenneth says, I think they need to start Jollywood an hour earlier. I felt too rushed, wasn't able to experience the things I want to. So Kenneth, again, this, you can get in at 7. It starts at 8:30. Like Very Merry Christmas Party, a lot of people feel, hey, we should be able to get into the park earlier. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that. And I still believe that there should be some sort of consumable giveaway. What I mean by that is a free non-alcoholic drink, a free churro, a free cookie, whatever it is, right? It's that gift. It's that perceived value. It's that tangible thing that you get with your park ticket, the same way we get, cookies and hot chocolate for Mickey's Very Merry. It is a relatively de minimis investment on Disney's side, but I think it would be a huge guest satisfier on the way out. So time will tell. Time will tell. But I will tell you that, and I'll show a few of the other photos. When I say that there was no crowds there, anybody else who was there, there was nobody. It was lovely. Like, we didn't wait on, the longest line I waited for was at on Sunset for the turkey popover and some of that, which I really love. Actually, I'm not a sweets guy, but I love that PB&J donut. Like, I thought that was really, really, really good. Do I think that the party is good for younger kids? No, I don't, Matthew. Honestly, I don't think this is a party that is meant for younger kids. There's no parade. Yes, there's characters, but it's a much more slower, laid back vibe. However, if you want to go, say, hey, we come down this time of year, we only have 3 days. My kids love the studios. We never can get on every attraction. So going to ride attractions is important. Then absolutely. Because every attraction, like, we walked onto Runaway Railway. Like, people were walking onto attractions all night long. Tower of Terror was it was a 13-minute wait. It was a 0 wait attraction. People were getting virtual queues for Rise of Resistance. While we were doing the family photo, they were getting group 4, group 12, group 17, again, which are basically walk-ons. So what you want to get out of it and what you're willing to invest into it is a very, very, very subjective thing. And that's why, I don't love when, again, without calling anybody out specifically, even scrolling through YouTube and looking at some of the thumbnails, Jollywood Night is a disaster. And then these images that are meant to portray it was like the apocalypse. It wasn't the apocalypse. Like, was it her first night? Absolutely. If you've ever worked at a restaurant or owned a restaurant and opened our first night, it is disastrous. But you learn and you improve, and it's hard to judge that first day. I still had a great time that first night with crowds and with lines and not being able to see and do, and in my case, eat everything, and pouring rain for Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. I still had a great time. Like, I loved it. And I think the event has great legs. I don't mean that like literally. Like, the event has legs. I think once you know what it is and what you're going for and what you hope to get out of it, and I wish it was cooler. Like, I would have liked to have gotten a little bit dressed up because I wasn't going to ride attractions, but I would have loved to have like gotten a group of friends together, gotten a little bit dressed up, walked around. Again, the Twilight soiree, like, that's my jam. I was maybe born in the wrong like era, but that 30s, 40s, like, just super cool, like, chill music. And again, the band there was fantastic. And I am not the only person that said that is and was their favorite part. Becky, you're right. Unfortunately, people are going for clicks, so the headlines are jarring and meant to be that way. A lot of people are going to click on Jollywood Nights is a disaster. Number 7 will shock you more than, I really enjoy Jollywood Nights. There's room for improvement, but, and that's fine. So Jamie says there was no line when we got our wristbands at 6:00 on Monday, a super smooth problem. So Kevin, it has a Christmas vibe, but it's a Hollywood Studios Christmas vibe. It is not the same energy. It is not the same entertainment. It is not the same experience as Mickey's Very Merry. They are apples and oranges. And I understand that because of the investment, not everybody can and will and maybe should do both, right? It's what you want it to be. But I went on Monday and, we got together, we took a family photo, everybody sort of went off and did the thing that was important to them first, right? They went to where they wanted to go first. I was with a couple of friends, and we just took a very leisurely, like, chill stroll throughout the night. We stopped, we ate, we had, when I say beverage, I don't necessarily mean alcoholic beverages, Becky, but we had beverages throughout the night. Like, we didn't even go to any of the shows. Like, we didn't even go to any shows other than, the soiree and watching the Latin band for a while and just sort of taking in the overall ambiance of the night. And we loved it. Like, we loved it. Like, I had said, like, there's a part of me that is thinking about and tempted to go one more time. And I live here. I could go to the studios any night of the week and sort of take in that retro vibe. But I did. I really, really sort of liked how chill it was and the unique food offerings. So Caleb says, what was my favorite part? It's the soiree. And Rachel and the Alley Cat, the band that is there, like, they are. And I went and I told her, I was like, you are the stars of the evening. Like, that's the thing for me that I dig. Like, if they had a couple of high top tables or even tables, I could have sat there all night long and felt like I got my money's worth. I'm not a huge drinker, so I wasn't like running from bar to bar to try all the different drinks. Some friends I were. I was able to take a little sip here and there of some of the zero proof cocktails and some of the other cocktails as well. If you want to have a more relaxed sit down experience, you can go to the Hollywood Brown Derby. my kids did not go. My daughter was in school, and my son wasn't able to get back from school. So, you have to judge. And look, there was a lot of kids there. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of kids ranging from like kids in strollers to, younger kids and teenage kids. You'd have to ask them what they felt. But again, I think it's very subjective. If they're there to ride attractions and take in the atmosphere and have no lines, they're going to have an amazing time. If you're looking for Mickey and Minnie and Santa and, Disney and characters and Goofy in a parade, you're not going to get that here, right? The Magic Kingdom is the event that you should go to. Kenneth Pucci said the soiree was right out of a classic movie. It was. And even as you approached Tower of Terror and they had the bunting up and they had the lighting up, like I had this smile on my face because I just dig that vibe. If you saw my Spotify playlist, you're like, how old are you, Mongello? Like, who has like music from the 40s in their Spotify? This guy. Hello. I do. Like, it's perfectly fine. And I, it's, you have to sort of choose for yourself. And I think there's enough out there now. The only thing I would do is maybe if you're on the fence about going, if you're not sure if it's for you, please don't judge on a single 30-second video that's like, Jollywood Nights is a disaster. Give me my money back. Everybody hates Jollywood Nights, because it's not true. And I am not the only person that enjoyed myself and had a very different experience second time around. So Serena from Living by Disney was on the show. We both went to that very first night. She went this past Saturday, had a very, very markedly different experience. So I think I think that's sort of how and what you need to judge it. So, and Becky, oh, by the way, when I was there, I have another idea for an event. So just so you know, remind me when I see you, and then you're going to say, what was the event? And I'm going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about, but put it in context of the Jollywood Nights event. So there you go. Yeah. So I dig it. And I also, by the way, if you go, try the buffalo chicken spring rolls and basically everything I like Dockside Diner too. Dockside Diner was really good. I didn't make it over to Pizza Rizzo for the giant meatball and polenta. Like, I didn't get to see and do everything. By see and do everything, I didn't get to eat everything, which for me, could be a disappointment, but it was not. Christy Vasaki, oh my God. As if my Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving couldn't get any better. Like, here you are. Look at the smile you just put on my face. So, Marla Chan says many are giving positive reviews. Yeah, and I'm happy to hear that. Like, you can see that the effort and intent was put in there. That execution on the first night, not to sort of rehash the show, but you don't know how guests are going to react and respond, and cast members. God, they made such a huge improvement from day one to day two and day two to day three. So it was really cool. Fairfax Fair had some awesome party food. Yeah, I agree, Jamie. I think right, Fairfax Fair. Yeah, there was only a couple of places I didn't get to try, but yeah, I loved it. So that's my thoughts on Jollywood Nights. If you've gone, if you are going, I would love to hear. Like, literally, I want to hear your thoughts. Call the voicemail 407-900-9391, and I will play it on the show. Speaking of the show, let's quickly go from there to this week's podcast, surprising Disney movies that impacted the Disney theme park experience, with Kendall Foreman, who I always enjoy recording with. I love her insight and perspectives, and she does the work and she puts in the research beforehand. And this was for me a really fun conversation to look at the non-obvious movies and some of the non-obvious ways that they impacted, the parks, not just like attraction based on movie, but whether it is financial, whether it is direction, whether it is creative inspiration that they took. So I would love to know from you, what were either ones that on our list that were surprising to you, Black Cauldron, Black Hole, Herbie the Love Bug, whatever it might be, and or which were some of the ones that maybe you thought should have been on the list. Again, I welcome you to post in the clubhouse and call the voicemail, because I really, really welcome your feedback. And Amanda says, listen this morning, great episode. Thank you very much. Amy says, Avatar and Moana, absolutely clear impacts on the parks. Again, I felt Avatar was sort of too on the nose because we have the world of Pandora. I really wanted to get to not just some of the more obscure films. Like, as I was writing down Old Yeller, I'm like, this is either going to land or it's not. But I was really trying to think, like, bigger picture. I was trying to think in terms of what does this film represent in terms of how people react and respond to it, and how can this translate to what we, Disney, is doing in the parks. Amy, Meet the Robinsons. So I love Meet the Robinsons for a lot of reasons. I like Meet the Robinsons. Very, very underrated movie. Did not perform well when it was released. Not still a huge fan favorite. It's sort of like it has this cult following, but I would love to see that in Epcot. I would love to have seen something like that in Tomorrowland. But again, if I'm connecting the dots, how did Meet the Robinsons, in your opinion, and I'm not challenging you, I'm asking you, how did Meet the Robinsons impact the experience that we as guests have in the Disney theme parks? And again, it doesn't have to be sort of, here is a Meet the Robinsons character, although you can meet them every now and then. I do see them sometimes out on race weekends. Darren says, I listen to Lou on my gym days on the weekends. I don't even know what a gym day is, obviously. I probably should at this point. So I haven't heard the podcast yet. Michelle, good to see you. Cindy, it does have a great soundtrack. Meet the Robinsons is a really, really good sound. There's a few. Maybe we should wait. Somebody please write this down and email me. We need to do, and maybe if you make your case strong enough, I'll invite you to join top 10 Disney movie soundtracks or Disney movie songs as we sell, because a lot of these I'm doing as part of sort of this overarching Disney 100, right? Celebrating 100 years of the company. The top 10 Disney movie songs or scores even. So, Frank Kunkel from Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania are you watching from? Thank you very much for being here. Meet the Robinsons overlay. It's not an attractor, right? That's what I mean, Karen. Like, one, there's no sort of Speedway Meet the Robinson connection. And two, like 1 out of 100 kids will go, ooh, there's a new Meet the Robinsons overlay on Speedway. We now have to book a family vacation. That won't do it. Would Cars do it? Yeah, because that makes sense. I just don't think that Meet the Robinsons is enough of a draw to do that, right? A lot of the movies that we talked about on the show are not big, and they have cult followings, but are not big enough draws. And yes, by the way, we are going to do, maybe we'll do it like for the nation or a clubhouse, like we'll do a group watch. We have to watch The Black Hole together, and you need to stay till the end. That's all I'm going to say. So, I'd really love to see the Mighty Ducks, and I don't even know what the Big Green is. Yikes! I don't know what the Big Green is. Lion King again, Rachel. I think Lion King was on my list, not because of the attractions that it sort of birthed in the parks, but some of the financial benefits that Lion King brought in, as well as cultural, from a cultural perspective, what Lion King did. But I was really trying to keep our list to 10-ish. Right. Sugar Rush on the Speedway, all day long. It combines the gamification and the video games and the retro vibe and Wreck-It Ralph. Like, I think that would work almost, like, I don't want to say more than Cars, but maybe even better than Cars. Because this idea, like, and if you could really sort of almost like, like you get the Vanellope car, or you get, some of these different cars, I think that could be really fun in terms of theming. So Bambi is a great. So Darren says Eddie Murphy. You know, I had a conversation at the party the other night. Which of the Haunted Mansions, if I had to choose between the two, which did I like better? This recent Haunted Mansion or the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion? Number 7 will shock you, and so will my answer. I think it's the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion. I didn't love the most recent one. Yes, I dug the Easter eggs, but you can't build a film around, and I'm hearing a lot about Wish the same way. There's tons of Easter eggs, right? That's great, and I love that, and we dig, and I really, really dig that. But I don't think I want to say this so it actually makes sense. You can't build a foundation of eggs. No, I like that, because it makes actual literal and figurative sense. You can't build your foundation on eggs, right? Because they will crack. So the Easter eggs and literal eggs would crack. It has to have a solid story foundation. I don't think the Haunted Mansion movie, the most recent one, had a solid story foundation. I have not seen Wish as yet. I will hopefully see it in the next couple of weeks. But again, different strokes for different folks. Some people loved the most recent. I will give the most recent Haunted Mansion another crack. It did not hold my attention. I may have dozed off for a second or two. But now Muppets Haunted Mansion, different story. Different story. Loved Muppets Haunted Mansion. That is my favorite of all the Haunted Mansion movies, if I had to. So the new Haunted Mansion film felt like Phantom Manor, Eddie Murphy, and kid-friendly. You do have questionable taste. Becky, I'm not saying that The Black Hole is a cinematic masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. There's plot holes. But for what it was, when it was, and what if Becky, I do a podcast about Disney World. If you actually go back and listen to my explanation of Black Hole and why it's significant, in my mind, I think it actually makes sense. And I'm not going to tell you what I said because I'm going to force you to actually go back and listen to the show. So, and I love the fact that there's lots of love for Muppets Haunted Mansion. So, I really loved and want to continue. I want you to think about this some more. And if you haven't listened to the show yet, please do, and share it, tell it, invite a friend to listen. But literally, share it and review it. If you listen on Spotify, I always post a question. If in the Spotify app, you could actually go in to the show. I'm going to show you what it is in case you haven't seen it. So if you go and listen to the show on Spotify, there is a weekly Q&A question that you can answer in there that I will publish on Spotify. So this week's was, what do you, that's from last week's show. Mongello, you should actually click on this week's. So which of the lesser known films we mentioned or one of your own do you believe had the most influential impact on the parks? I would love to hear whether it's there in the clubhouse. And yes, if you look, so I practice what I preach. I just said how much I love the Twilight Zone, the soiree there, and the music I listen to. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes is the last song I was listening to on Spotify. So there you go. But so those are my thoughts on Jollywood Nights and some of the surprising movies. I would love to continue to have conversations about either and or both. And I was going to say at the end, listen, because I saw somebody, I have to go back. What is the famous people? I love Pepe the King Prawn, by the way. I love Pepe the King Prawn, so very much. If you're going to Jollywood Nights or if you're coming to, don't forget, by the way, to go visit our friends over at mousefantravel.com. I want to give a lot of love, not to Becky specifically, because black, but to Mousefan Travel. Again, they will help you. And what made me think about this as we were talking about it was I was actually texting with some of the agents at Mousefan Travel, and some of the agents were at the party, and just some of the things that they were doing for their clients while they were there, and interacting with their clients and texting and calling with their clients while they were there. I was like, this is it. This is what the Mousefan differentiator is. It's not the fee-free service. It's that kind of stuff that the agents do for and with their clients. I know some of the other ones there. I don't want to call out anybody specifically because they all do things differently, but the way they sort of make additional magic. And the magic is not like, oh, I got you the biggest discount. Yes, that's very magical, but it's the little things that they do that mean so very much. And I heard comments from the agent about the guests, and I heard comments from the guests about their agent. And I'm like, that's it. That's why I put up with Becky. I mean, that's why I partner with Becky. That's what they're very interchangeable words, but that's the reason why I wanted to think about it right there. So anyway, Jennifer Downey says, what am I looking forward to eating tomorrow? Nice transition, Jennifer, because I was just about to get us into, I don't have any Thanksgiving Day music, but our sort of Friendsgiving night live discussion about Thanksgiving. And I love the fact that you broached the subject in terms of food. So any Mongello family Thanksgiving food traditions? Yes. So in addition to the traditional turkey and ham and stuffing, my mom used to make she would make regular sort of stuffing, and she would make this, I guess it's an Italian thing, this like sausage stuffing. So we go to my brother's, who lives in the middle of nowhere in Florida. It's like an hour and a half away, but I digress. But they make this sort of traditional, my mom passed the recipe down to my wife, passed it down to my brother, and they make this stuffing that I remember eating every Thanksgiving as a kid. So this is a body that is built on stuffing and savory foods. So that's the food tradition that I'm looking forward to most, because it reminds me of my mom. It reminds me of my family. It reminds me of being in the basement in my grandmother's house in Brooklyn for every Thanksgiving for years. And I think when we're kids and as we grow up, we're like, oh, I gotta go to grandma's again. Like, you're like, I hate going there. I want to like stay home. You realize later on just the impact is. And when I say grandma's, I know not everybody has had an opportunity to go to their grandmas or be with their parents or have, whether your friends are your family or your family is your family, they are the people that you are surrounded by, hopefully, that you love and that love you in return. And that's all that's important. The blood, that doesn't matter. It's the people like you that we call family. So I love the fact that Kenneth, oh my gosh, I love the fact that Kenneth and Paul, okay, so you know what the sausage stuffing is and you don't think that I am a crazy person. Amy, my mom used to make artichokes. I gotta get on the wife about this one. My mom used to make artichokes. I know it's a process and it's a thing, but she made these like huge stuffed artichokes that I haven't had in years, and I miss and I loved. It's a lot of work to make them. It's a lot of work to eat them. It's not necessarily a great first date food, but I did. I love the artichokes as well. I forgot about those. Chicken and homemade red gravy. Oh, red gravy. You mean sauce? I'm sorry, Brett. Right. Red gravy is. I know it's depending on what part of Italy you're from. I think that sauce is red, gravy is brown. That's just sort of the way that I do it. But I understand and accept and acknowledge that for some people, gravy is also red as well. A lot of love for sauce, a lot of love for sausage, a lot of love for Mouse Fan travel agents too. Sue Passour is the best. I may or may not agree with you. Just don't tell Sue I said that. Oh gosh, Christmas Kringle season, Sue Passour. Like, I almost forgot about the Cajun. How can I forget about the Cajun Kringle? I'm not a sweet. You know what? Maybe I'm just going to stop saying I'm not a sweets guy. I'm a sweets guy under the right circumstances. How's that? I do. But the Cajun Kringles are so expensive now. It's like $70 to get it's worth it. Hashtag worth every penny. Getting a crate. Then you put it in the microwave for like 9 seconds. So it just gets warm. And that sweet glaze just starts to sort of soften up. And you have a nice little cup of coffee. Oh, Cajun Kringle is a good. I almost forgot, and now tonight I have to go and order one or two. It's fine. The only thing I need to have is the ocean spray. That's right. So how do you like a cranberry sauce? Is it the can? Is it the cylinder with the imprint of the lines, or is it sort of the crushed cranberries that is your sort of cranberry sauce? Um, I know. I gotta drop the knot. I really, but like if I have a choice, if I have my druthers, I don't even know what a druther is, but if I had any, I would choose savory over sweet any day. But here I am. So, I love our Thanksgiving dressing. Ours is made with bread, cornbread, and biscuit. Heather, you wouldn't happen to deliver, like, and ship any of this, would you? Like, sometimes when I do these, I was like, I wish I could just get like a little sampler platter of like, we could do like a, what do they call it? Like a, whenever sort of brings a covered plate, I don't remember what it is. So, yeah, it's so funny. So they love these cans. The slurp sound from the, Becky Michael says no cranberry sauce. What? I mean, that may be the most un-American thing I've ever heard her say. And I've heard her say some crazy things. How do you say no cranberry sauce? Becky, what's wrong with you? Potluck. Thank you. I literally haven't eaten in 9 hours. I haven't even had dinner yet tonight. So the best part is the leftover sandwich. Matthew Woolley, brother, like, preach, my friend. You get that little sandwich together with the next day. You put the turkey and the stuffing and, yes, Becky, you put the cranberries on top. Oh, that's nice. That's good stuff. The cans have lines for for cutting. So, all right, what is your... Wait, Kendall Foreman, I'm not sure if you were here. We were just talking about you. Dare I say, dare. We were gushing. We were gushing about our love of Kendall Foreman, not just your preparedness and performance on this week's podcast, but everything that you bring to the conversations that we have on the show. I really I love you, and I love like talking with you, and I just, even if we weren't recording it, I said this, I think I'm like said it during I'm having so much fun just having that conversation with you. And the fact that you love carbs, mac and cheese, sweet potato casserole, corn casserole, rolls, and pie, that right there, that's a good Thanksgiving. That is a nice Thanksgiving. So, Kendall, you have to go back and listen to all the nice things we were saying about you. And don't even bother. I just said them right now. So, every piece of turkey I eat has to have a little bit of cranberry sauce on. So, Steve, I'm the same way. I have to have a little buffet on my fork and get a little bit of everything as I'm putting it all together. So, I'm the same way. I like I know some people literally have to separate their food out on their plates. I like to sort of get it all in there, get a little bit of everything, so you sort of get everything in a single bite. And then I'm also very strategic. This is way more information than you need about me. Sometimes I'm very strategic. So if I really am enjoying something, as I'm looking at my plate, I'm like, all right, I got to prepare myself for the last bite. And I want to make sure I've got the little flavors that I need on the plate for the last bite. And as I'm thinking about my cruise next week on the Dream, we'll get to that. I'm like, even when I have the tuna tower, I have to have just the right amount of tuna, just the right amount of soy sauce, just the right amount of wasabi. So that's the perfect bite that sits on my tongue when I'm done. And then you can sit back and you put your fork or your chopstick down. You're like, yeah, this is the flavor that I want sitting in my house. Kendall Foreman, see, this is why we get along. Watch this. He found a way to make it work here too. Look, boom. Do you remember how much fun I had, Becky, the night that we were doing it from Coronado? I found a way to do it here as well. I could do thumbs up. I can even, wait a second. I can even, if I really wanted to, we can do confetti. We could do lasers. I'm not going to go down this road, but I really have a lot of fun with all these. And just to wish you all a very happy Friendsgiving. There you go. There's some balloons as well. So, Caleb, I am very poetic about my food. As a kid who never ate, I really, really, really have turned into a lover of food and the food experience. I enjoy when I say that I enjoy eating, whether it's on top of a garbage can with friends, if it's at, like, I would sometimes, 99% of the time, I would enjoy that more than a fancy restaurant. I love, now that I'm in Disney Cruise, like, food mode, I love eating on Deck 11 sometimes more than I love eating in the restaurants. Like, I do. I like sort of picking and mixing and matching and doing all that kind of stuff rather than, you know, I mean, I enjoy a fancy meal every now and then, but I just like enjoy the experience, the food eating experience. I still can't get over the night. I know, like I am, even with my food or these like reactions, I'm like a little kid. I find something that I enjoy. Wait, do it. Come on, do it. Do the thing. There you go. So, sorry, Brett. I know I won't do it. I'll try not to. So, Karen says, I'm laughing so hard that I woke Sean. I know. It's the little things that I do that, you know, like boom. Ooh, I can even blur the background, which is actually kind of cool. But then you're like, wait, what is that blurry thing that I can't see behind you? And I want to get the attention off here because obviously all the food that I've been eating is, you know, having its effect. It's a dark and stormy night. All right, sorry, I'll stop playing. What's the best Thanksgiving dessert? What is the best Thanksgiving dessert? You've now stuffed your face full of all of the savory, and you've got the turkey and the ham. We also do pasta. We eat a lot on Thanksgiving. But what is what's your best Thanksgiving dessert? My tea is cold. It's not awesome because it's fennel tea, but David Turner, I'm with you, man. You give me like a good pumpkin pie, like with a nice crust. No ice cream, no whipped cream. Don't touch. I'm a simple man with simple needs and simple tastes. Keep my pumpkin pie exactly the way it was meant to be. Apple is a close second, Matthew Woolley. See, Amy, I don't need this stuff. I don't think that you need to taint the purity of the pumpkin pie with the accoutrements. I think it just needs to sort of live like on its own. Pumpkin cheesecake. Hey now. Family recipe pecan pie. Pumpkin pie just out of the oven. Chocolate pecan pie. I've never had that. Actually, one of the best pecan pies I had was in New Orleans. I don't remember where it was, but I have to try and remember where it was. It was really, really, really good. I'm also not a big whipped cream guy. Wait, Brett, blackberry cobbler and Dutch apple. Blackberry cobbler, dude. I like the sound of that. I dig how you roll. Wait a minute. Wait, stop the presses, Vicky Vale. Gingerbread apple pie? Heather, if you don't stop, I'm going to find out where you live and I'm going to invite myself over for Thanksgiving because it sounds like you may have some of the best food of anybody. Pumpkin swirl cheesecake, mincemeat pie, Bob Burney. I've heard of mincemeat pie. Tell me exactly what mincemeat pie really is. Homemade banana pudding. Hey now. I dig me a good banana too. If I can still see the pie, I haven't put on enough Cool Whip. Gingerbread with whipped cream is our Becky. Becky. I'm noticing Becky likes whipped cream like on everything. Her desserts, her cocktails. Like now I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. Lou goes to Amazon, 53-gallon drum of whipped cream and send. Okay. Yeah, so what is in the like? Because now I'm thinking like it's an actual bit of different like meat in a pie. So, okay, what Disney character? Right, we'll sort of start to wrap it up with this. If you could invite over any fictive live action animated, this is just for fun. If you can invite over any Disney character for Thanksgiving dinner, who would it be and why? What Disney character would you invite over for Thanksgiving? Nick just got back to Wilderness Lodge after a day at Hollywood Studios. Thanksgiving dinner at the Boathouse tomorrow. You can tell him, Lucia. A lot of folks that I knew there are gone, so they might look at you with very quizzically or ask you to leave the premises. But yes, and I love Wilderness Lodge at this time of year and Hollywood Studios at this time of year. So you are doing it right. Pluto will help clean the dishes. Carol Rothenberg says Kronk. Remy, so he can help cook. Very well done, although a rat in the kitchen, meh. I know. Becky and I have this weird, like, Becky actually, we always joke around about it, but Becky actually does. I literally have a corner of my recently cleaned out closet. It's like the weird Becky corner. Like, when I die, my family's going to go in there and be like, what was our dad into? What is all this weird stuff? I need to put a note. Like, I think I need to write the note now that, hold on a second. All of this was from Becky. I apologize for all of it. ... And her. Dad. Okay, good. With that out of the way. Mary Poppins goes with that explanation. Amy Keys is also going to be at Boathouse. Oh, you should take a family photo. Mike Wazowski, because he only has one eye. Jack Sparrow, I need a lot of rum. Winnie the Pooh, because he loves his food, and Winnie the Pooh and I shop at the same short and fat man shops. Buzz Lightyear for entertainment. So, okay, mincemeat is dried fruits like apples and raisins, sugars, nuts, and rum. I think I need to go to Publix and see if they have a mincemeat pie. Obviously, I would have Scar, says Jennifer Downey, because Jeremy Irons' glorious voice, and the run-up is Loki because Hiddles. I'm just going to leave that one alone. I think this is supposed to be Tiana, not Tatiana. I think that's Tiana because she loves food. Tiana would be a really good choice. Tiana would be a great choice because she brings in her like culinary abilities and like I just love her like as a person and a character, and she can cook, like, and she makes the savory, and she got the beignets. Yeah, she'd probably be a nice guest to have, and just like a nice guest to have for Thanksgiving. I'd have to take Tony Stark for Lincoln. He absolutely loves Iron Man. It would be a core memory for sure. I mean, but if he comes as Tony Stark, Lincoln's gonna be like, Tony, like, where's the suit? Like, come on, man, you got to put on the suit, right? Just like when Iron Man promised to do the birthday party. Yeah, you would have to bring this. He'd have to come in as Iron Man and then leave the suit outside because you don't want him. Your wife would not want him traipsing through the house with that thing. It's just an accident waiting to happen. But Tony hanging out at dinner would probably be Mrs. Doubtfire for Sweet Grandmother. Jack Sparrow, he could party and entertain. It's really interesting where everybody's mind goes for this answer. Robin Hood and Little John, so we could run through the forest before lunch. But so listen, when I was a kid, my whole family got together. There was like 40 Italians in my grandmother's basement. And I'm sure we were not alone. You get a lot of family together for holidays. Not that it was like, I don't even know if anybody was really ever drinking at my house. But, there's always that relative, right? So what Disney character would be that relative, the bad relative that would come over and start an argument? So which Disney character would you not want? Because that it's going to get ugly and it's not going to end well for anybody. And it's going to be a bad memory for Thanksgiving. And somebody's going to leave and go storming out of the house. And it would not be good. Nate says, I would invite Lou because I can't eat all the food myself. I need some help. I mean, I'm not that bad in terms of, it's not quantity of, well, sometimes it is. It's not necessarily quantity of consumption, but depending on what it is, yeah. Like, you give me a really good bowl of pasta, rice, sushi. I was going to say donuts, but John from Carousel of Progress. Big Pete, Stitch, Beast, because I would get locked up. Pocahontas. Oh, Kevin Shea would still invite over. Um, Too bad I couldn't invite the entire cast of the Santa Claus. So oh my God, I'm forgetting what her name is. Um, Santa Claus's second wife from the Santa Claus 2, who was in Lost, who I love, and I'm just drawing a blank because I'm hungry. I haven't seen the Santa Clauses, the Clausettes, whatever the new series is yet. Pamela Bart, the mean Judge Claude Frollo is top 10 evil Disney characters. Spoiler alert, it's Judge Claude Frollo. He is the most evil of all Disney characters, period. You will never change my mind. He would be a bad dude. Like, I think you could have some intellectual conversations with him, but he's not a nice person. And there's a good chance my uncle, sorry, I could see you arguing with Judge Claude Frollo. A lot of Gaston, but man, not only you would need a lot of extra food. Like, if you think I eat a lot, you would. I wouldn't invite Chernobog. It would end badly. Mother Gothel, also, I could see, like, yeah, I could literally see Mother Gothel at my grandmother's dinner table, and the argument, and like slamming down the table and hearing the things clatter and getting up. Yeah. I swear I had a wonderful childhood, but we've all been there, right? For the family arguments. We've all seen it before. Santa Clauses are a disappointment to the franchise. Oh, too bad. Too bad. Not a love for Beast. Or no. Frills is the down. Who's Frills? Is that a autocorrect for Frollo? Or do I just not know who Frills is? Cruella, Evil Queen. I feel like Archimedes would be the relative sitting in the corner, intellectually judging comments under his breath. I had relatives like that too. Usually, like, there was the big table was here, and then there was like the TV area here. And as you'd like waddle your way over, you'd hear something from over there. So I get that. Marla Chan, Jafar, Big Al. Oh, I'd love to have Big Al at dinner. My dad loved Big Al. I loved it. When I saw him at the Christmas party, it made me happy to see Big Al sort of waddling around. Mother Gothel is the definition of passive-aggressive. Yeah, I could see arguments ensuing with Mother Gothel. Merlin. Oh, yeah, Merlin. Especially if you could, like, make stuff happen. Merlin, ooh, wait, I want some mincemeat pie. Does this little thing, and all of a sudden mincemeat pie just sort of shows up. Yeah, somebody who could sort of do magic at the table and just make stuff happen. Be like, ooh, I want Nathan's french fries. Boop, all of a sudden, it happens there. Plus, like, cleaning up would be a breeze. Yeah, somebody who could do magic might be a good option. So, before I forget, and before I let you go, to start getting ready for your, I almost said Halloween, for your Thanksgiving treat. This was fun, by the way. We're going to make this, it has been a tradition every year, but I do love it. I love this idea of sort of spending Friendsgiving together. Like, there was a second, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do the show tonight, let people do stuff with their family. But then I'm like, no, like, we are family. Like, this is us doing stuff together with our family. I want to just give you a couple of quick reminders. Next week, starting on Wednesday? Yeah, starting on Wednesday, because I'm leaving Wednesday. I'm going to be live from the Disney Dream. And when I say live, I'm going to be sharing videos and stories a lot over on Instagram. Sort of the as it happens stuff will happen there. I will go live if and when I can. I'm also going to show you Brightline. I'm so excited. I love trains. I'm going to take Brightline from Orlando down to Fort Lauderdale. So I'm going to show you Brightline. Maybe go live from Brightline. How fun would that be? Maybe I'll take you live from Brightline. I think my train is like 12:30 on Wednesday. I'll show you the new port in Fort Lauderdale, the new Disney Cruise Line terminal there, and I'll share some very maritime stuff from the Dream. Please don't forget, by the way, speaking of dreams and Dream Team Project and Dream Team Lunch and Auction, Saturday, January 6th, we have a very special day brought to you by our friends over at Mouse Fan Travel, where Instead of, in addition to doing just a regular meet of the month, as we have been since 2008, when the meets of the month started, we're going to do something special for a number of reasons. So we have secured a venue over at the Boardwalk, and we're going to have a catered lunch, fancy. We're also going to go back to something we haven't done in many years, which is a lot of fun, and it makes a big difference. We're going to have our Dream Team auction to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Actually, I spent this week sort of gathering things together. I have a lot of stuff already, and there's more stuff coming in. But if you're interested in attending, you need to go to www.com/dreamteamlunch to get a ticket. I believe as of the other day when I checked, I think there was only 12, 14, something like that, tickets left. It is a limited ticket event, and a portion of your ticket price does go to our Dream Team. We're also going to have the auction, maybe a surprise or two. You never know. Some people have asked me, and I just saw Marla, if you would like to donate something, please reach out to me directly, lou@wdwradio.com, or message me on Facebook. I'm at Lou Mongello, and we can talk about stuff there. Some of you have asked if the auction is also going to be online. It's very, very, very difficult from a logistics point of view, but, and this is a big but, and it does not lie, but I may do a simultaneous online auction because I may have enough items to do two auctions. So I might do one in person, a silent auction, and we'll do an online auction separately. I am working on it now, so don't hold me to it. A couple of people asked about volunteers. Yes, I need volunteers. So if you are local, not just on auction day, but lunch, I do need some help sort of putting stuff together and logistics and planning and moving stuff over there. I have a couple of people who reached out already. We probably want to get one or two more volunteers as well. Again, please reach out to me. So yes, the auction is only open. So the auction that is going to be there, the silent auction, is only open to people who are in attendance. I am looking to do either at the same time or maybe the week after, doing an online auction for obviously a different set of items and experiences. Some experiences thrown in here as well. So I want to make as many people as possibly able to participate. But super important. You may remember a few weeks ago, maybe it was almost even a month ago, an anonymous benefactor, who shall remain anonymous, reached out to me and said, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe in what you do with the Dream Team Project, and I want to help as much as possible. I would like to make a donation, but instead of just sort of making a donation to the project, I want to match. And this person, I won't say, this person said, I will match up to $10,000, and not going to get emotional. I'm trying not to get emotional. You stepped up, and that donation amount was matched. That $10,000 donation was matched. I heard from this benefactor once again, who said this was great. I was so happy to be able to do it, and I want to do it again. Cue the tears. So, once again, every donation made to the Dream Team Project to benefit the Make-A-Wish, your donation does not go through me, it goes directly to Make-A-Wish, will be matched up to $10,000 from our anonymous benefactor. You can learn more. You could make a donation directly to Make-A-Wish. They will send you a receipt so you have it for tax purposes. You can go to dreamteamproject.org. You have made a difference that I cannot even begin to explain, not in my life, but in the lives of the children and the families that you have reached. You, because of the auctions and your generosity and just donations like this, have touched people in ways that I cannot explain. So, also, man, I was really hard to keep that one together. Like blood in my hands from digging my fingernails off camera. All right, switching gears. Speaking of cruises, don't forget we have not one but two cruises coming up. Our Halloween on the High Seas is now less than a year away on the Disney Magic. Halloween, getting dressed up. I've got my costume ready already. And not only do we get to take Brightline, if you want to, down to the port in Fort Lauderdale, but we go to Lighthouse Key at Lookout Point. Lookout Point at Lighthouse Key, whatever it is. We get to go to the new Disney's private island in October 2024. And if that doesn't work for you, don't sweat it. But wait, there's more, because we're also going to go on the Disney Treasure in February 2025. It's not just Valentine's Day. It's not just the Disney Treasure. It's also going to be our 20th anniversary. Us as a family, as a community, 20 years together. Becky's like, please don't die before 2025. I'm really, really, really going to try not to. If you want to find out more, if you want to get a free no obligation quote only and exclusively from our friends over at Mousefan Travel, you can visit mousefantravel.com. And just quickly on a non-Disney side of things, somebody asked me the other day about my mastermind group launching in November. It's now launching in January. It's limited to 6 members. I think there's only 4 spots available. But if you go to loumongello.com/coaching, you can find out more, or email me directly, because I want you to feel the same way that I do every single day about what I get to do, and I'm blessed and I'm grateful for to do, simply because of you. So there you go. I think that's it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I'm 97.63% sure that I am forgetting something. I don't know what it is. Becky says we have 2026 and 2027 to plan. You laugh, but we are already, we literally are planning through 2025. Japan, we're coming for you. Get ready. We're coming in. We're going to make it happen. So hopefully I get to see you on the live show in January, on one of the cruises, wherever it may be, hopefully even at a restaurant somewhere. Oh gosh, I knew that there was something else I was forgetting about, because I literally put it right here next to me and didn't want to forget about it. Wait, I need to go back for a second. Wait, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I have no segue for this whatsoever, other than the fact, people that I'm grateful for, people that I've been friends with for a long, long time. I've told the story a million times of eons ago. This is 2005, 6, somewhere around there. Any of you remember the old Mouse Fest days, when it was back at the Swan in a ballroom like the size of my office? This cute little nerdy gentleman with his glasses comes over to me, and he's holding this little book in his hands. It's Tim Foster. He shows me Guide to the Magic, and the bromance is born and has grown from them. And Tim has not just been an important part of the show, but an important part of my life. And I still feel the same way today, not just about him personally, but about the type of work that he does. And it literally, I got this today. I was like, he does it again. He truly has this childlike love and wonder for this. Don't tell him I said this. He doesn't watch anyway. It doesn't matter. But he has this childlike wonder and love and appreciation for this place and the park and the memories and just all that. And it comes through in his work, and not just in Celebrations magazine, but some of the special edition stuff that he's done, including his latest project, which we've talked about. I have one in my hands. He just put out the Disney at 100, A Century of Imagination. It is one of the hardcover souvenir books. This book is beautiful. I want to just, let me turn to, I want to find it. So it's a decade by decade sort of journal through the movies and and the parks and the people and Walt. It is an absolutely gorgeous collectible piece of work that you can put on your shelf or your coffee table. Tim, you're not listening, but you did it again. And I love and appreciate you. And if you want to order his book just in time for the holidays. It also includes a free keepsake pin if you go to celebrationspress.com, and then send little Timmy Foster an email. Be like, Tim, I ordered this because Lou told me about it, and he said all kinds of mushy, gushy things about you that I'm not allowed to say. But if you go to celebrationspress.com, you can order your book and get it in time for Christmas. It's beautiful. Like I'm saying this not as WDW Radio or not as Tim's friend. I say this like purely as a fan of Disney. Like I'm really, really curious to not just sort of page through it like a comic book, but I want to sort of read through it and some of the special reports in terms, he's got the Disney Renaissance and Disney Legends, and he has a lot of guest authors in here as well too. So I'm really looking forward to. So I'm not just a friend, but I'm also a fan of Tim Foster's as well. So there you go. That's what I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. Now we can sort of wrap things up again. I'm super thankful to you and for you for being here. I appreciate you so very much. You don't need to be in America, from America, or even know how to spell America to have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm going to say it again. Please don't let your day of gratitude be limited to one day. Like, practice an active gratitude every single day, whether it's by holding the door open for a person or reaching out to somebody or just, telling somebody that you appreciate them and what they do. We should be thankful each and every day. Every day on this side of the dirt is a good day. And I am grateful to you more than you know. And it's not just words. Like, your presence here is the greatest gift that you can give me. Listening to the show, being in the clubhouse, like watching the comments and the emails and the messages and the likes and the follows and shares, and like, it means more than anything that you could do. So my love and appreciation for you is probably wider and deeper than you know. So I hope that you have a wonderful, delicious Thanksgiving tomorrow. Post a picture from, I have to post this in the clubhouse. I have to say, Siri, remind me to post about the Thanksgiving picture tomorrow at 9 a.m. I want to see a picture from your Thanksgiving tomorrow. Share your family with our... Siri, stop listening. Stop it. Share a picture of you and your family or your meal or the fights, whatever it is, in the clubhouse tomorrow. Have an amazing, amazing Thanksgiving. Know that however you spend it, wherever you spend it, who you with, or even if it's just, you watching football tomorrow, know that there's at least one person out here that loves you and is grateful for you and is thankful for you. So have an amazing, amazing Thanksgiving, and hopefully I will see you again real soon. This is it's my Thanksgiving confetti. Thanksgiving. I need some sort of Thanksgiving reactions it's our Thanksgiving Def Jam. I love you. Have a great night. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye.